There are hundreds of such nice looking vehicles in GTA Online, and today we're gonna go over the absolute best looking ones. I'm not gonna lie, it was extremely difficult to choose which ones to feature, and I feel like no matter what I do at the end of this video, someone's gonna go down in the comments and be like, Hacky, why didn't you feature this car? Let me know at the end of the video if I did miss any, but besides that, let's go. First on the list, I consider this one more of an underrated choice. I haven't seen too many people notice anything about this one or give it much attention. It's really a car that doesn't get a whole lot of attention at all, and I think it does deserve attention for its looks because its performance isn't anything super crazy, but that is going to be the Type-In. It's mostly based off of the Hennessy Venom F5, which looks absolutely freaking sick in real life. I'll put a picture up on the screen right now. It's very easy to make this car look good. It goes well with so many different paint jobs, and I like the stock wheels of it as well. They're really unique looking, and if you plan on buying this car, I recommend you buy it for the looks of it and not for the performance, because it's not really a car you're going to be able to win races against cars like the Krieger and the Wagner and the Emrys, and it's got a bit of a steeper price tag at just under $2 million. That's a bit overpriced if you ask me, but if you're absolutely crazy about the looks of it, it might still be worth it to get this car. Overall, the Type-In, one of the nicer looking cars in the game for sure. Then we got the Itali GTO, which is not only one of the nicest looking cars in the game, but it's also one of the best sports cars for races, which I guess is another reason I recommend you do buy this car. It feels like for some reason more of a nighttime type vibe car. Like, I really like driving it at nighttime in particular. I like how both the front and the back of it looks, especially the round shaped taillights on it too. I think they look super cool, and the handling is great as well, so it's really easy to drive, unlike the Type-In. The Type-In is not the best in performance, as I said. The $1.9 million you spent on this car might actually be worth it for this one. It's mostly based off of Ferrari in real life, which is always nice. Next up is the Comet S2. I guess you can also include the Cabrio, which is just the convertible version, and it's super obvious just by briefly looking at it. It's based off of a Porsche, and Porsches are just beautiful vehicles. The thing with this one is it's like literally identical to the real life version of the Porsche, and usually Rockstar have to change it up a bit because I feel like they could get copyrighted for that if they have the exact car design in the game. I don't know, it just looks exactly the same. Usually a lot of cars in GTA are hybrids of 2 or 3 vehicles. Next one is another very good sports car, just like the Itali GTO. It's kind of its competitor. It is the Itali RSX. They both have great looks and great performance. What's cool with the Itali RSX is not only do the stock wheels look super cool, but you can actually color them as well, which you can't do on a lot of vehicles in the game. It's pretty uncommon to see it. So basically, if you leave the stock wheels on it and then you change the primary color, that's also going to change the wheel color along with that as well, so it matches up and everything. I find that very cool, and apart from the stock wheels, the car itself looks awesome, of course. If you're wondering specifically how it compares with the Itali GTO performance wise, it's faster, but it's got less good handling, and it's based off the Ferrari SF90 in real life. Now, hands down, the worst thing about the car is the price tag of it, which comes in at just under $3.5 million. So yeah, this car is for the bougie. Then we got the Windsor Drop, which is a convertible Rolls Royce, which obviously look awesome. All you have to do to make this car look good is just put a clean and luxurious looking paint job, and it's gonna have to look amazing, along with a nice set of wheels as well. You can't go wrong with a nice looking Rolls Royce like this one. Both from the front of it and the back of it, it looks awesome. I do recommend it if you're into luxurious looking cars, and you could get it for $900K, which compared to the other cars on the list so far, that's not that bad. Then we have the beautiful looking Osiris. Even the name of this car has that swagger. The Osiris has such a stylish vibe to it. As soon as it came out, I was like, yup, this is one of the nicest looking vehicles in the game. Honestly, the Ill-Gotten Gains update as a whole had some really nice looking cars, including the T20 after. The Osiris is based off of a super exotic looking car in real life, which is the Pagani Huayra, and the T20 is mostly off of a McLaren, and you can find them both on the legendary motorsport website. The Osiris for $1,950,000 and the T20 for $2.2 million. Next one is the Dominator GTX, which is arguably the nicest looking muscle car in the game. Some people would say the Hellfire, but there's probably a big debate about that. You can state your cases down below in the comments. Now, the Dominator GTX is based off of a good amount of cars: the Ford Mustang, the Dodge Charger, and the Chevrolet Camaro. It can look awesome for those cinematic muscle car screenshots, or I guess if you just want to look good driving a muscle car in GTA. And you can buy it for $700,000. Now, the next one is the Rebla GTS. It's based off the BMW X5, which is a very nice looking BMW SUV. I had to limit myself to feature one SUV just because there were so many cars I wanted to feature on the list, but it would make this video way too long. So this is the SUV I chose to go with. Maybe I'll do a part 2 if you guys want to see that down the road as well. And you can get it for just under 1.2 million. Next one is the Coquette D10, which is obviously based off the Corvette. If you don't know, the Coquette vehicles in the game are Corvettes. It does sound pretty similar, Coquette, Corvette. It's got some nice stock wheels. It looks amazing with a big spoiler. I think the spoiler makes this car look 10 times better, so make sure you get a spoiler on it if you do buy it. That one is $1.5 million. Now the next one is the Paragon R. It is designed off a Bentley, which looks absolutely amazing. I really like the round headlights. I think that's a really nice and unique look for the Bentley. You can buy the regular Paragon R for $905,000, and then you can actually unlock the armored version of it for absolutely free. I believe it's through the casino missions. I'm not entirely sure. The only differences with the armored version that I know of is the armor plating on the doors, and then it also has a rapid minigun on the front of it, which is, I guess, pretty nice, although it's not that strong. Next one is the Nero/Nero Custom. They're basically the same car. It's just that on the Nero Custom you can have Benny's upgrades, obviously, but the car build itself is relatively the same, and it looks absolutely awesome. It's based off of a Bugatti, specifically the Bugatti Vision Gran Turismo. We finally got our first Bugatti on this list, which is pretty surprising. It can't get much nicer than a Bugatti. The front view of the car looks super cool, especially with those headlights. The base price of the Nero is $1,440,000, and then the Benny's upgrade, if you want to upgrade it to the custom version, that's another $605,000. So all in all, just over $2 million for that, plus of course the upgrades you got to put on it, and also the stock wheels. Once again, they're unique and they look sick. Next up is the Vision, which is a pretty futuristic looking supercar. It's really easy to make it look clean. It's easy to make it look like a futuristic villain car in particular. Let me know if you can see that too. It just gives me like villain type vibes. And that one's $2,250,000. Now the next one is the Tempesta, which is mostly based off a Lambo. I don't know if we had a Lamborghini since the Vaca, so it's been a bit. Welcome back, Lamborghini, and this time it's the Lamborghini Huracan. Let me know if you call it the Tempesta or you put like that, I guess the Spanish sounding pronunciation of it, Tempesta. You can find the Tempesta or Tempesta for $1,329,000. I said we haven't had a Lamborghini since the Vaca, but I don't even think we got to the Vaca. So the next one is the Vaca, which is also based off of a Lamborghini, but this time it is the Lamborghini Aventador. This one, like the first car we looked at, the Type-In, doesn't get much attention. So if you're looking for a more under the radar nice looking car, this would be another good choice. But get ready for this. It's the most affordable option on this list by far. It is only $240,000. I gotta say, I definitely recommend this one if you don't want to break the bank. Then we have the very nice looking XA21. It's actually a fairly small supercar. I think the body structure of it is overall a little slimmer than most supercars, which you might find to be a good thing. It's based off the Jaguar CX-75, very nice looking car. And what I like about this one, apart from the looks of it, is actually how it sounds. It's got a very nice engine sound. If you like a car with a good oomph, this engine sound is just different. It is built different. I like to drive it for the sound of it and the looks of it. It's just a nice hybrid. You can't say that about a lot of vehicles in the game, that they actually have a nice engine sound, especially with supercars. A lot of the supercars have very basic and some of the same exact engine sounds, which is just not the most exciting thing in the world when you're driving around and you want to hear the sound of it. But going back to the looks of it, it looks very nice, and you can get it for $2.4 million. Next one is going to be a special one, and it has a place in my heart because it's actually the very first vehicle I ever bought in GTA, and that is going to be the Feltzer. There's a lot of good things about the Feltzer. The looks of it is just one of them. It's based off a Mercedes. It looks amazing both from the front and the back of it, and like the Vaca, it's actually another affordable option. Did I say the Vaca is the most affordable option on this list? Well, not anymore, because this comes in at just $145K. That's it. Next one is the Ignis, which might be the most recently released car on the list. It looks like an absolute futuristic transformer. It's definitely the biggest transformer looking vehicle in this list too, especially if you get the weaponized Ignis version. There's actually two versions, the Ignis and then the weaponized Ignis, which just adds a machine gun on the top of it, and there might be a few more features. You can probably already guess, but it's gonna cost you a couple million. I didn't know this at first, but it's actually based off a Lamborghini Sian FKP 37. So we're rolling with the Lambos recently. Then we have another supercar, which I really like the looks of, and I consider this one also a fairly underrated choice. It is the Entity XXR, which is based off the Koenigsegg 1. Not exactly familiar with it, but the car looks amazing and the IRL version looks even nicer. Finally, you can buy it for $2.3 million. It was extremely hard to compress this list. I had to sacrifice some vehicles, so if you guys want to see a part 2, I definitely can. There's so many different nice looking vehicles, it was hard to pick honestly. Now if you want to see the best electric cars in GTA Online, click the video on screen now. I hope you all enjoyed that video, and peace.